You're thinking about making a move to either Phoenix or Las Vegas and you are not exactly sure which city is going to be right for you. Honestly, this is the exact process that my wife and I used. Vegas and Phoenix were our top two cities, and we ended up moving to Phoenix, as you guys know if you've seen this channel. But in this video, I want to cover why both of these cities, first of all, made our top list. You know, we're looking at Florida and Texas, and I'll do those in another video. But in this video, we'll spend time talking about what both cities have and why they're both in our top two, and then ultimately why we decided to live in Phoenix. So if you're thinking about making the move and you're not exactly sure when, stick all the way to the end because you're not going to miss the top two reasons why we moved to Phoenix. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So, you know, both Las Vegas and Arizona, they both have absolutely amazing weather, and that was definitely one of the main factors of why we had both of them on our radar. You know, Texas, it gets super windy, super humid, it's super hot, right? And it gets very cold in the winter. Florida is always hot, and again, I'll cover those two in another main video. But you know, Vegas and Phoenix, they both have very consistent weather. It's always sunny. It's rarely windy. You know, you don't really get that much rain at all. It's just absolute sunshine. There's no humidity. It is absolutely amazing. So again, coming from and moving from Nebraska, I was tired of the springs where it was cold and cloudy, and you would get that, you know, 70-degree day, but then the next day it would be, you know, 40 degrees and super windy. And honestly, again, when it was really nice back in the Midwest, you know, it's still super windy. It might say 65, but you're still dealing with 25-mile-an-hour winds. And that's just the springtime, not even to mention the wintertime. It's absolutely amazing when it's 65 degrees or 70 degrees in February. You step outside and you're just like, oh my gosh, this feels so good. We cannot wait to get out of the cold and dark Midwest. So that is the main reason why Vegas and Phoenix were on our list. Consistent daily sunshine, low wind, and low rain. It is absolutely amazing weather. I think we have some of the best weather in the entire United States. Los Angeles might have us beat, but just because of the consistency, but we'll talk about that in another video. Now, a second reason why these two cities made our list, Vegas and Phoenix, is because we knew that no matter which city that we picked, people would always come and visit. There's direct flights for anywhere in the United States into Las Vegas, into McCarran, and you know, into Phoenix as well. Phoenix has American and Southwest as a major hub. I'm not exactly sure on Vegas. I just know that you can get a direct flight from basically any airline into Las Vegas. So that was a huge part for us. You know, we love to travel, and we love to seeing our friends and family travel to us. So just being able to have those nonstop flights everywhere was really a huge difference. And again, we knew people would come and visit. If we picked the Las Vegas area, who doesn't want to go to the Strip? There's something for everybody. It's not all about gambling. You know, there's amazing shows, amazing restaurants. So we knew we would be covered no matter which city we picked. And same thing with Phoenix. You have the Old Town Scottsdale. There's always events going on in the Phoenix area. And who won't want to come down again in like January, February, March when it's absolutely beautiful down here. There's no wind, it's pure sunshine. So we knew that both cities, no matter which one we picked, people would always want to come visit us, and that we had easy access to them with the airports. Now, the third item of why, you know, Vegas and Phoenix were a huge place that we wanted to move to is because there's no natural disasters. I absolutely hate thunderstorms. It's kind of a weird trait. I was golfing one time when I was back in college, and it was thundering out. Lightning struck like 2 or 3 holes over, and ever since then, it scared the living daylight out of me. So I really do not like thunderstorms. Growing up, we always went down to Orlando to travel, or like the Vero Beach area, and you know, I just hate like hurricanes or any of that. So having no natural disasters in Vegas and Phoenix was a huge attraction for especially me, and then, you know, eventually I got my wife on board. Really, the only natural disaster that both cities have is just really aggressive heat. You know, you got to be very careful in the summertime, especially like if you're working outside or if you're golfing or, you know, doing any outdoor activities. You do have to take it very seriously because heat stroke is a huge deal. There's people that die every single year from, you know, heat exhaustion and heat stroke. So that is a human disaster. It's not a natural disaster. But, you know, yes, in the summertime, in, you know, July and August, we do have monsoon season. It gets crazy. I'm telling you, these thunderstorms are wild, but it absolutely downpours. But again, that's only a few days out of the year. For the rest of that, you have 300 days of sunshine. So that was a huge attraction for myself of not having any natural disasters in Vegas or Phoenix. Now, the fourth reason, again, we talked a little bit about this at number 1, so it's kind of a repeat, but like literally the ample sunshine, just outside of, you know, like it feels really good. Like it is so good for you. You know, I think there was a stat during COVID that about 60 to 70%, I can't remember the exact number, are vitamin D deficient. And even 10 minutes in the sunshine, you can feel it. You feel better. You're in a better mood when you walk outside and it's nice and beautiful. It's sunny out. You got the birds chirping. It's just, I can't describe the feeling, but it just really kind of uplifts you. It just makes you feel nice and warm. You know, even in the summertime, like when you walk outside, like yes, obviously it's very hot and you don't want to stand out there too long. But like, man, you walk outside and like the warmth just hugs you, especially after being in like Costco or the grocery store where they just absolutely pump out air conditioning. It feels so good when you walk outside and that daily sunshine just hits you in the face. Not to mention, you know, it's absolutely amazing. We absolutely love it. It is one of my favorite parts about both of these cities. It's just the consistent daily sunshine. It really does just enlighten your mood. It just makes you feel so much better about where you live. Now, in terms of cost of living, this is the fifth item. In terms of cost of living, both cities are, you know, going to be relatively the same. You know, we knew, so when we first moved down here, we were looking for like a 1-bed, 1-bathroom apartment. So we knew, you know, roughly we were probably going to pay anywhere from like $1,100 to probably like $1,300 or $1,400. Obviously, you can, you know, go much higher than that, and you can go much lower than that. But, you know, just in general, we knew roughly that we were going to spend about that. Homes in Vegas right now, they are a little bit cheaper. But, you know, at the time when I was first moving, we weren't worried about that at all. All we were worried about was how much are we going to be paying in rent. You know, now switching jobs and doing what I do, which is help people move to Phoenix because I absolutely love it so much. So we'll get into that later. You know, we just knew cost of living really, it wasn't that big of a deal. You know, it wasn't like we were moving to New York or Chicago or, you know, LA where it's going to be like $3,000 or $2,500 for a 1-bed, 1-bath apartment. These cities are both still affordable for the most part. It's changing. It's gotten very expensive to live here in Phoenix over the last, you know, 3 years. But for the most part, you know, you can still get a 1-bed, 1-bath apartment for $1,300, $1,400, depending on what area of town. So again, if you need help with your move, guys, that is exactly what we do. We love living here in Phoenix so much that we switched our careers, and that is all we do. So guys, pause the video. Our contact information is down below. If you like this video so far, click the like button and comment down below, and also click the subscribe button. That way you don't miss any new content. We cover everything there is to know about moving to Phoenix, Arizona. So that concludes our list about, you know, the top reasons Vegas and Phoenix were on our list. Next, we'll cover into specifically why did we pick Phoenix, Arizona. So this may sound funny to you guys, especially coming from like the Nebraska area, but one of the main reasons why we did pick Phoenix is that it is a little bit slightly warmer. On average, it's anywhere from about 5 to 8 degrees warmer than Las Vegas, and it does have a little bit less wind and a little bit more sunshine. So I know it sounds crazy that you would want to move into a space that's a little bit hotter, but it was really important to us, like in the wintertime. You know, there'll be times where, like, we went to Thanksgiving in Las Vegas a couple years ago, and it was like 45 or 50 degrees for the high. To me now, that is absolutely freezing. I don't want any part of that. Usually the coldest it gets for a high in Phoenix is typically about 60 degrees. Obviously there's a couple days that may get colder, but for the most part, that is as cold as it gets. So, you know, only 10 degrees, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but trust me, it is. It makes a huge difference. It's a difference between sweatshirt, pants, and a vest versus just sweatshirt and maybe shorts. So having it a little bit warmer was definitely a huge plus for us. We absolutely I love the summers because it's so quiet down here and there's nobody that is out on the golf course or at the grocery stores or anywhere. It gets really, really quiet. And so the fact that, you know, throughout the year, it's just gonna be a little bit warmer, that was a huge major plus for us of why we picked Phoenix versus Vegas. Now, the second major reason of why we picked Phoenix over Las Vegas is really just the size of the city. So Phoenix is about over 5 million people. Vegas was only about, you know, just over 2 million at the time when we were moving. And, you know, for us, we just thought, like, there's more people, there's more opportunities, it's just a bigger space, right? There's going to be a little bit more to do, just everything, right? And we'll cover a little bit more into, you know, what exactly there is to do here in Phoenix and why that's a huge plus. But for us, you know, we just thought, so we were both working from home at the time. It was COVID, and, you know, neither of us really liked our job, so we knew that eventually we were going to switch. So, you know, just moving to a little bit bigger city, literally it's double the size, right? So double the opportunities was what we had thought. There's so many companies that are in like the Scottsdale area or Chandler or even downtown Phoenix. So we knew that there would be a ton of jobs here, especially in the healthcare industry. So we were not worried at all about that when we were moving. But yeah, you know, just it's a very, very generalized statement, but you know, Phoenix, there's double the population. We knew that there had to be double the opportunity. And again, now I switched into my career. I love Phoenix, guys, so much, and that is exactly why you should reach out to me, because I absolutely love it here. And we've really done a really good job of learning the neighborhoods and learning exactly what neighborhoods would be best for you. So guys, pause the video. Contact information is down below, and please reach out to us. We love hearing from you guys. But just again, big opportunities. You could start a business. There's so many small businesses down here. But even with that, there's so much opportunity as well. So it was a huge factor, and it's just absolutely amazing about the endless possibilities. And what's really nice too with Phoenix is that everybody's willing to help you. I'm a part of like a small, networking group and a couple other, golfing groups, and you really get that community feel. You really get that small town community feel that everybody wants to help each other. So you don't really get that, kind of stuckiness of, maybe some other cities. So everybody really truly does want to help you, and they want to help you grow your business if that's what you choose. Now, this third one is, you guys are probably going to laugh when you guys hear this, but, I never really thought that Las Vegas was anything more than the Strip. I thought it was literally just like homes and then the Strip, and everybody, that's all they did. So honestly, that was a big reason why we chose not to move to Las Vegas, was because we didn't really want to go. We've been to Vegas a couple times and walked on the Strip. We're like, this is like really, really cool to be able to have for the reasons that we talked earlier in the video, that, it's a really good entertainment and attraction point. But, we wanted other stuff to do outside of just going to the Strip. One of the best things with Phoenix is like right behind me, right? You got South Mountain. There's hiking all over the Phoenix Valley, and it's like right in the heart of Phoenix. You don't have to drive 2 hours to go up to the mountains. So, it's just probably a little bit naive of us that when we were researching that, we were like, oh, there's gonna be way more to do in Phoenix than there is in Vegas. Being there a couple times, I know obviously that is not true now, and especially with the growth that they've had in professional sports, and we'll touch on that in a second. But, at the time, we really just didn't think that Vegas had anything else to offer outside of the Las Vegas Strip. So that was the main reason why we chose the Phoenix. We thought there's a little bit more stuff to do, especially in like the surrounding areas, and more outdoor activities. Again, like I said, now that I have been to Vegas and have experienced more of it, I know that is not true. But when we were moving 4 years ago, that was a huge reason why we chose Phoenix. Now, the fourth reason why we chose to move to the Phoenix, Arizona area is just the state of Arizona in general. Arizona is definitely one of the most beautiful states in the United States. There is so much to do in terms of outdoor activities. So you have, the desert here down in the Phoenix area. But guys, if you drive 2 hours, you're up in Sedona where it's 25 degrees cooler, and you got the red rocks of Sedona. It's amazing. And what's so nice is that during the summer, you can get out of the heat. You can drive 2 hours up to Flagstaff and be 30 degrees cooler. You can go out to the Payson area, and it literally looks like it looks like you are in the Black Hills of South Dakota. It's only an hour and a half up to Payson, and again, it's 25 degrees cooler. You can go out to the mountains in Show Low and the Painted Mountains. There's 3 national parks here in the Arizona. So you got Tucson, or Saguaro National Park down in Tucson. There we go. You got the Grand Canyon up just north of Page, Arizona, and then out east you have Petrified Forest. So there's 3 national parks in Arizona, and guys, I'm telling you, it's just such a diverse state. You can go skiing and golfing in the same day. Where else in the United States could you do that? It is absolutely amazing. We've only scratched the surface about what there is to do here. You got old boom towns like in Tombstone, and then you got like sand dunes out in Yuma. So literally the state has everything. You're only 2 hours down if you want to go down to Rocky Point. Actually, I think it's 3 hours. 3 hours down to the Rocky Point area, and you're on a beach in Mexico. That is the only really thing that Phoenix does not have. Is it doesn't have the ocean. It's landlocked, and it doesn't, there's really no beaches unless you're in one of the specific lakefront communities that have one. But so that's the only thing that it really doesn't have. But outside of that, Phoenix, Arizona, and Arizona in general has everything that you would need from an outdoor standpoint. I have some people helping make a move right now, and they love rock climbing. I never knew that was a big thing down here, but out in the McDowell Mountains in Scottsdale, again, it's only 30 minutes from the Phoenix area. You have amazing rock climbing opportunities. So if you're an outdoor enthusiast, Phoenix, Arizona is the hub. It's right in the center of the state, and you can drive 2 hours and you have a completely different world on your hands. Now, the fifth reason at the time, it's obviously changed quite a bit now, but at the time, Arizona had all 4 sports teams. Now Vegas, they got the Knights, they got the A's coming, and they're trying to get an NBA team, and they got the Raiders. There we go. So at the time, Arizona had all of the big 4 sports teams. initially moving down here, I thought we were going to go to games all the time. Really, our lifestyle hasn't quite transformed to that. But at the time, we were like, oh my gosh, there's so much more. Again, getting back to there's so much more things to do. We love the aspect of being able to go to a Diamondbacks game or being able to go to an NFL game, and just having that option available to you. Not to mention, there's always music festivals going on. There's always farmers markets going on. I'm sure that's the same in Vegas. But again, when we were moving, this was the thought process that, hey, the Arizona Phoenix has all 4 sports teams right now. Are we going to go all the time? Maybe. But it's really nice to have that in your back pocket, you know. That's one of the best things about Phoenix too, guys. There's so much to do, and you don't have to do any of it, or you can do all of it. But it's so nice that you don't have to drive, or you don't have to, you know, fly to go see some of your favorite teams. It is funny that, you know, Phoenix, it's not a big sports town. It's definitely one of the cons about living here. You know, we went to an ASU game, and like nobody was really paying attention. I came from Nebraska where like everybody's locked in and zoned in. So that was a little bit of a different shift. The same thing, like if you go to like a Diamondbacks game or like a Cardinals game, most fans that are going to be there are not going to be cheering for the home team. So especially like if the Cubs come into town, or like the Dodgers or the Packers or the Bears, there's going to be a lot of away fans. So it's not a huge pro sports team, city, but guys, again, it is just so nice that you have the option to go to all of that. Now the 6th reason, guys, if you have spent any time on my channel, you guys know I absolutely love to play golf. That is the main reason why I moved down here. And again, going back to like it's just a bigger city, there's got to be more opportunities. That was a huge decision for me because I knew that there was going to be more golf courses down here, and that has definitely been true. Scottsdale has 100 courses. The Sun City area has, you know, 25, 30 golf courses. And then not to mention all throughout, you know, kind of the Mesa, Chandler, all throughout the valley, there is amazing golf courses down here. And what's really cool too with the golf courses, you have all different kinds of levels. You have like executive. There's not really any like strictly par 3 courses that I found, so that's a little different. But outside of that, you have, you know, lower level munis. But honestly, guys, the municipal courses down here, like in Canto, Aguila, Cave Creek, they are all kept in very, very good condition. I just played last weekend I teed off on Saturday at 2:30, and it was only $36 and walking in the wintertime. It was 75 degrees. Where else can you get that? So the golf courses, you know, they have every single level. They got the lower level, and then you could go spend $575 up at TPC Scottsdale, or, you know, $400 at the Boulders, or $350 at TPC, not TPC, True North, there we go. So you got high-end Silverleaf country clubs. You got Scottsdale National, where PXG is headquartered out of. So you have literally every single level of golf course that you could ever imagine. You got private courses, public, munis, executive courses. They got it all, and that is a huge drawing point for myself. Not to mention, a lot of these courses have really, really good practice facilities. If you go up to Papago, you go down to Aguila, you go to GCU, Grand Canyon University Golf Course, they have really, really good practice facilities, and you can work on your game 12 months a year. Who would not want that? So you got no excuses. You know, I always remember back in Nebraska, it would take me March and April to kind of find your swing, and then next thing you know, you only got 3 to 4 months of really good golf, and then the season's over. So right as you're coming into your peak form, the season's done. Not down here in Phoenix, guys. You can play 12 months a year. The summer is the best time to play. There's nobody out there. It is super cheap, and yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. You got to make sure that you bring water and like an ice towel, but outside of that, it's amazing. I love golfing in the summer. It's almost summer here, and I cannot wait to get back out there. Not to mention, most courses are about 50 to 75% off from their normal rates. So you can go and play that True North that's normally $350. You can go play it for 50 to 60 bucks. So it's an absolute steal. I can't wait for the summer, and golf is absolutely amazing down here because there's so many golf courses. All right, guys, for my 7th reason of why we picked Phoenix over Las Vegas, guys, again, if you like this video so far, make sure you click the like button and comment down below. I really want to know your thoughts about my list. What have you thought? Have you thought about, you know, Phoenix or Las Vegas? And where are you coming from? Where are you moving from? Again, I moved from Nebraska, the cold, dark winters. I could not stand it. I love Arizona. So, guys, if you are thinking about making a move, pause the video and jot down our contact information. Reach out to us. We want to hear from you. We want to help you make your transition to the Phoenix area. So without further ado, again, if you've seen any of the other videos on my channel, you guys know I love to travel, not only domestically, but internationally. I love to travel the world and experience what the world has to us. So that was a huge, huge plus for Phoenix, is that you have a large international airport. They just announced a flight from like Paris to Phoenix that you can do nonstop. You can get to London nonstop. You can get to Tokyo. You can get anywhere in the world. You know, you're only about 1 to 2 stops, rarely 2 stops away. So that was a huge aspect to us, you know, in terms of, you know, what hubs are here. Like I said, Southwest is here, American Airlines is here, so they fly pretty much nonstop to almost every city that you could think of in the United States. And not to mention that Phoenix has a second airport as well, Mesa Gateway. So Mesa goes into a little bit smaller airports, so think like Allegiant. They go into a little bit more niche cities like, Sioux Falls or Bozeman, Montana, or like Cincinnati. So you have, like the discount fare option down in the Mesa Gateway area, and then you also have the huge, large international hub. One really nice thing too that they did with the airport in Phoenix is that, especially Sky Harbor, they put it right in the middle of the city. It does get a little loud depending on which part of the city that you're living in, but so my sister lives in Denver. It is such a pain. Every single time that we go to the airport, it's an hour drive. Now, obviously, like if you're living in like Surprise or Buckeye or like down in like Santan Valley, yes, it's gonna take you an hour, but for the most part, you can get to the airport within about 30 to 35 minutes, no matter where you're living in Phoenix. That was a huge plus. So again, the ability to be able to travel internationally and not have to go to 2 or 3 airports on connecting flights was a huge added advantage. So guys, that wraps it up of our comparison of what Las Vegas and Phoenix, and why we ended up ultimately choosing Phoenix, Arizona, guys. So again, comment down below. I really want to know where you guys coming from and what did you think of this video. So guys, check out the other videos on our channel, cover everything there is to know about moving to Phoenix, and we're looking forward to hearing from you, and check out the other videos on our channel.